Hi folks, this is a tag video from Paddy. He was talking about his best 7 user knives that he's got this year. So this is knives that have come into his possession in this year, or in this case come into my possession in this year. That's the first 8 months of 2019 that I use. There are 1 or 2 have come into my possession which have, they've gone straight into the cases and sit there. But these are ones that I actually use. He started with the most expensive, so I am going to do the same. Although this didn't come to me at the highest price. It's this. This is a little ADV that I picked up from the Apostle P. Picked up a couple from him actually. And this one is the mini butcher. So this is the one with the 2-inch blade. I've also picked up this year its big brother with the 3-inch blade. And I like this knife too, but of the one that's actually turned out to get more pocket time, it's the little 2-inch one that's one through there. So that's knife number 1. Second most expensive. This probably won't come as a surprise to many people. This is my JE Made Lanny's clip here. Now, I got this and it more or less immediately went straight into my pocket and became my everyday user. That being said, it's still stiff to open, although obviously I'm trying to do this in front of the camera. The fact that I can open it in front of the camera means it's not that bad. There's actually quite a lot to grip, and you've got, because the rather than a nail nick, it's a hole that goes all the way through. You've got grip on both sides. Funny that this one's got grip on both sides as well, because it has that fuller that runs on both sides. So anyway, this one is number 2. It's S35VN carbon fibre. It's just a lovely knife to use, a lovely knife to carry. You know, it looks good and feels good and works well and everything else. So it's just what I like. Now, the next in terms of most expensive is this. Though, funnily enough, not in terms of price paid, as it were. I was talking to Dennis at Brisa that makes the Enzo PK70s. And they've kind of run out. There are a couple of them still available in this country, and 1 or 2 slightly more obscure websites. And if you dig around, you can find one. I had the carbon fibre version and the titanium and G10 versions, so I had those before this year. If it had been most user knives full stop, they would obviously have been straight out here. But this is the only one I got this year, so it's the only one that qualifies. But it still qualifies in spades to be in this group. What's next price wise? I'm guessing now because the next 3 are pretty close together. But this is a case knife. It's a trapper, so my good friend Tobias will probably go, "What are you talking about, man? This is nonsense." I actually just find the trapper to be a useful knife. When I have my breakfast in the morning, I usually have some toast, sometimes some porridge, and then I usually sit down and I cut up an apple. And I want a knife that will cut up an apple without any hassle, with the blade that's long enough to go right the way through the apple. That is stainless steel, because I'm not one for patinas, and I don't want my knife to go all patina-y. And I've got 2 blades on here. The clip is actually the better apple chopping blade. The spray will actually chop an apple very well as well, but I just think it's a little bit. I find it's just because it's a little bit thicker, it does tend to just not slice it. I don't see that. Has a long spay blade as well, so that I find useful. What's next in terms of price? I think these two are roughly the same price. The canoe. Now I actually bought 3 canoes this year. I got this one, a buck one, and a Rough Rider one. And I have to say I'm quite disappointed with the buck one. It's got nice design features to it, but it's just badly made. I like the Rough Rider one, but I don't really like the jigging. I find the jigging on the Rough Rider it's a bit too sort of uniform, which bothers me slightly. In fact, I've got it here somewhere. Yeah, I just think the jigging just looks a bit too, I don't know. Well, it's obviously it's machine done. This is machine done as well. This is machine done. I just don't really like that so much. And the buck one, which I've got here, was just it's just badly put together, badly made. So I'm not sold on that. So anyway, this is the case canoe. And I've been carrying its little brother as well a little bit, which is the baby butterbean. Partly I carried this because of a sort of almost challenge from Tobias, but I actually carried it because I quite like it. And if I'm wearing a suit and I don't want something big and heavy to weigh the pockets down, this is a good one to just slip in your pocket. Right, next one. Oh, it's another case. I've really gone for case knives this year. They just feel nice in your hand. And this is another trapper. No, I haven't just bought trappers. I've only got 2 trappers, but the 2 trappers turn out to be 2 of my favourites. This one inevitably has the clip blade, so it's sort of similar to the big trapper. But what it also has, shutting them is more terrifying, I have to say, than opening them. On the other side, this one doesn't have a spade blade, which is useful because I have never spayed anything in my life. Instead, I nearly got it there. So I just have to do it without looking at through the cameras. Right, no camera. There we are. Right, it also has, instead of the spade blade, it has a screwdriver and a cap lifter. And if you're going to a party, and I've been to a few barbecues and things over the summer, there's always, anybody got a bottle opener? Well, yeah, I've got a bottle opener. It's on my little trapper. So that makes it a useful trapper, and the second blade is just as useful as the first. So what's final? Last one. This is one, I've always been a fan of this sort of pattern. This is an old English Sheffield blade. But I've always been a little bit disappointed with some of the fit and finish issues. They're just not great. So when this came along, I quite like the look of it, and that is the anchor messer from Otter. Now, the other thing that appeals to me about this is it's got the big Killick anchor on it. Now, I used to be in the Royal Naval Reserve. I was sub-lieutenant, and so I've always had an affinity with the Navy. My family are all Air Force, but I realised I got bad eyesight. I knew I couldn't fly, but so they wouldn't let me fly an aeroplane. I didn't want to be anything else. So I thought, well, if I can't fly an aeroplane, I'll sail a ship, and so I decided to go for the Navy. Now this is a nice. It's sort of a cross between a sheep's foot and a Warncliffe, because there's no definite sort of corner on here. It's a sort of curve. So you could say it's a Warncliffe. You could say it's a sheep's foot. Either way, it's definitely a naval type knife. You use this sort of knife for cutting a rope. You lay a blade like that on a rope, and then you hit the back of it with a mallet, and that slices through a rope in one easy way. And most naval knives are of that type. So that's my 7. and I think they vary in price from the high 200. Well, they would vary in price if you bought them new. You'd be shocked if I told you what I paid for this, but from the sort of high 200s, 280, something like that, 230, 120, 130 pounds, something like that, 70, 60 something, 50 something. So that these are the knives that I have been using this year. So thanks, Paddy, for the tag, and I will hope somebody else might follow along. If you like this, please feel free to subscribe. Shockingly, I'm over 300 subs. I don't know where that came from. But also put a thumbs up if you liked it. Thank you very much. Bye.